Courage, I think, is one of the most important uh, mental attributes or principles that a person can live by. Here I am on Urban Dictionary because Urban Dictionary, as we all know, is full of funny things. Courage, the ability to confront pain, fear, humiliation, or anything else a person would naturally stay away from. Can be divided into mental and physical courage. Mental courage encompasses threats, attacks, and discomfort of the mind. Physical courage is pain, hardship, torture, and death. Another definition of it. Its origin is Old French, courage from Latin cor, meaning heart. I guess that's right. I don't know. I'll have to research that more in depth. But basically, this one has the ability to do something that frightens you and strength in the face of pain or grief. So if you're grieving and you can do something while you're in pain or while you're grieving, that's courage. Let's see here. And it's also, there's another way of putting it, the magic that turns dreams into reality. Here's another way. The ability to fight one's own instinct to run or cower by focusing on a larger deed that must be done for the greater good. And his example was, the tank man of Tiananmen Square was extremely courageous. Now, the reason why I wanted to go over courage is because courage is essentially one of the most important, if not the most important, principle of a human's interactions with life. It's an attribute we should all learn to practice, to be courageous in life. To face down our fears even though we're afraid, even though we're scared to death of moving on, even though everything about life is frightening and you're depressed and you're down and you just can't get up out of bed in the morning and you just don't know what's coming next. You just don't feel any purpose or point to life. Well, I'm here to tell you, courage is basically what you need. You need some courage in your life. Now, courage doesn't mean that you're not scared. Courage means you're scared out of your mind, but you go ahead and push forward anyways. You still do what needs to be done, regardless of the consequences, and regardless of how you're going to feel. Because yes, it's going to be painful, and yes, it's going to cause you a lot of grief, and even grief around the people you're around. And I find that this simple attribute, courage, is lacking inside of the school system, inside the university system, inside of astronomy departments, more specifically because that's where I'm attacking, inside of teachers who are afraid of losing their careers and standing up to others, especially when there are ideas that are being taught which are absolutely bogus, like Big Bang creationism and black holes, which are pseudoscience, and other nonsense that keeps on being pushed as if it's fact, just because all these people believe it. Now, it takes courage to stand up to those people, because what they're going to do is put you down, they're going to humiliate you, and you're going to naturally want to stay away from being humiliated. You're not going to enjoy the way that feels. And that's something that I have learned over time. No, it doesn't feel good at all, being humiliated on online forums and having people make that Rational Wiki page of, somehow I'm some sort of crank or crackpot. Whatever. Give me whatever label you want. It doesn't affect me. I mean, sure, it does humiliate me and I do feel bad because of it. But I have to learn that I have to push through that because it's just temporary. It's just a temporary pain. And if people can learn to push through that temporary pain in life and to have some courage, they can get a whole hell of a lot more done, because your body can handle a lot more than you think it can. When you're really, really tired, when you're really, really down and everything's collapsing around you, you'd be surprised how much stuff you can really get done when everything is collapsing around you. You're really, really strong inside and you don't realize it. But they don't teach courage in graduate school. They don't teach courage in college. They teach you math. They teach you this is how everything works. This is what you're supposed to believe. This is what everybody else believes. And then they give that feeling of like, if you're not a part of the club, we're not gonna, talk to you. You're just an idiot. Or, you got an F on your paper because you disagree with so-and-so. Ooh, how dare you disagree with so-and-so, And they want to make you feel dehuman. They want to dehumanize you. You're not a part of the club. They try to form in-groups inside of college when it comes to astronomy, geophysics, physics, and all that stuff. But you have to learn how to find out where they are being cowards, essentially, because they're teaching students these days in school to be cowards. They're teaching them to not stand up for themselves. They're teaching them to just accept what they're told and just go through class, get your A, and then go out into the world and do your little research, and then boom, nothing happens. Everybody gets recycled through the system. Those graduate students that learn all the ideas of the previous teachers, they continue on because they become teachers themselves and pass on those same ideas, and the vicious cycle continues and continues and continues. And the only way to battle that is to find a little bit of courage and stand up for something that you see is wrong. And over 3 years plus of me being ridiculed, I have hardened considerably towards people putting me down, telling me I'm an idiot, telling me that I'm uneducated, which actually I'm not uneducated. I know physics, I know chemistry, I know biology, and I know what happens to stars as they evolve. And establishment science is absolutely clueless. But worse than being clueless, they're cowards. They're cowards. They can't stand up for themselves because they have what's called the golden handcuffs. They have gold, yes, but they're actually tied down to the gold. They can't move. They're not free to do what they want to do. They would rather just accept it. And that's not the future. The future is in young men and women who can learn from their mistakes and correct them as soon as you see them. Do not think that the authority has any bearing on the future of humanity. Because as we all know, the authority is often much more wrong than they are right. All right.